Okay, we're gonna cover havoc number 2, and this is my last roll on Instagram. Both of my machines are at less than 30% or at about 30%. I didn't really get a good look at them. Just know that my batteries are getting low. This video is clearing up some shit. Alright? So earlier today on Instagram, I talked about having a criminal record. Well, that was a slip of the tongue. Technically, I do not have a criminal record legally. I did go to court for an ex. Alright? And this happened back in 2013, so it's like 7 years ago. I had to go back to the courthouse today to get papers because my ex had made contact with me and she had no apparent knowledge that she took me to court. So I'm going to give you guys the full scale now. Alright, so back in 2013, I'd been out of the Army for 2 years, 3 years. Let's see, went in 2010, got out in 2010. So I've been out of the Army for about 3 years. And I really wanted my ex back at the time. Alright, so a sick man in love, or a love-sick man, and whichever one you want to call me, which is what I was, honestly, truly to God, I was madly, deeply in love with this girl to the end of time. Or at least that's how it was supposed to be before I got a new lease on life, my crush. Anyway, and after I got catfished and some more shit. Yeah, so I've been through some shit with women all my life. I've been through some bad shit with women. Alright? So hopefully I can get my crush and I can live happily ever after. But this isn't about my crush, this is about my ex. So my ex had contacted me sometime last week. And we spoke. And no worries there. That clusterfuck's never happening again. Alright? And I'm not going to disrespect her here or anywhere else. I don't disrespect people if I can help it. And it's not like by choice. I choose not to disrespect people because I like to live above bullshit. So, today I went to court to get the papers to text them to her to make sure that she knows, yeah, you did this shit. So, I went to court for harassment. Alright? Now, let me explain. I sent my ex 2 love songs and 2 text messages. Now, this happened back in 2013. It's true confession time. You know, because I never thought for a New York minute that when we broke up, it was a real breakup because we kept breaking up like almost every fucking week. So, we break up, and I'm like, alright, cool. She'll call me like 3 days later. Actually, sometimes 3 hours later. Why aren't you over here? It's like, you broke up with me today. So, that was kind of the shit that I was going through. So, when the breakup really, really happened, I didn't know it was a real breakup because I was just expecting, well, in 3 hours she'll call me back. Especially when I had done nothing wrong. I've never done anything wrong in my relationships. I've always been cheated on. I've never cheated on anybody. I've always either moved too slow, trying to take it at the girl's pace, not knowing that every girl I've been with was hot in the ass and exceptionally quick. I'm a man. I can't read your mind. If you don't tell me what you want, I can't provide what you want. Okay? So, that being said, I go to work one day, and my young brother calls me. He's actually my youngest brother, because my other 2 brothers had no idea what was going on. This is like before my dad actually. So, I go to work, and I get off from work, and my brother's calling me, what the fuck did you do? The cops looking for you, the cops looking for you. It's like, the fuck you mean the cops looking for me? It's like, I'm trying to think, where the fuck was I at speeding? Because anytime the cops are looking for me, you better believe the Honda was involved. And I was probably driving really fast, and I probably went through a red light or something, which is what I thought was going on. So, they said, it's a warrant for your arrest. It's like, the fuck you mean there's a warrant for my arrest? For speeding? Yeah, that's never happened before. I'm not thinking about the text messages. How you doing? This won't be a long video. I'm not thinking about the text messages. I'm not thinking about the 2 love songs that went with the text messages. I'm thinking, okay, anything but that. Now, the 2 love songs and text messages actually came to her, according to the papers, the day before her birthday, which is when I sent them, the day before her birthday. Now, have you know, the cops ain't come nowhere after me until like fucking April. Let's see, January, February, March, April. Yeah, so I sent the text messages in February. The cops came to see me in April. And by then, I know I probably ran a few fucking red lights, but because at the time they started putting those cameras and lights, and so they would like send you a ticket. Well, this is a fucking warrant, so they'll send you warrants. They bring you those motherfuckers. So I'm sitting there, I'm thinking to myself, I'm walking home because my car was either broke down or fucked up. Something was wrong with it. And I'm walking home, and I'm thinking, what the fuck did I do? What could I have possibly done? Already you're thinking I'm guilty because I said I walked to work. Well, my job's only like 4 blocks. There wasn't no point of wasting gas. But at the time, my car literally was fucked up. So I'm walking home, and I'm just perplexed as I walk up Cherry Avenue. Just thinking, where the fuck did I run through a red light? Why the fuck is there a warrant for my arrest? I don't do anything. I go to work, I come home. I go to work, I come home. Nowhere in my mind are text messages and love songs remotely in my head could have gotten me in trouble. Nowhere in my mind. Nowhere. That shit was so far from my mind it wasn't even funny. So, when I get home, my brother's gone, but the warrant's in my room. So, I get the room and I look at the warrant, and it says, call officer such and such. I'm not going to reveal the officer's name because I not only not remember her beautiful sheriff ass, I know she was white, and me and her had a talk for about like an hour when she finally showed up. Because the way I see it, if I have a warrant for my arrest, I'm going to go ahead and turn myself in and get this shit over with. So I also missed a job interview that day because I had a warrant for my arrest. I figured that I wasn't going to get the job if I was in jail. So when the sheriff finally showed up, because I called the sheriff, I got off from work at like 9 something that morning. So the sheriff obviously was at my house at like 7 something. I don't even know why my fucking brother was there. But anyway, so I got home, called the sheriff. The sheriff waited till almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I had to take a shower after the sheriff left. And I didn't go to jail, by the way. Sometimes a warrant for your arrest does not mean you are going to jail. Alright? Understand how that works. So I'm sitting there talking with the sheriff, and she has a husband who she had to work around his mental issues and all this other shit. And I was talking about my ex and what her mental issues was, because she had mental issues as well. And she had stopped taking her meds. I never ever saw her take meds to begin with, so I never knew she was on fucking meds. Oblivious, Love makes you oblivious to really small, simple shit. And I'm not the type of person to go through anybody's shit. If I visit your house, I'm not going through your medicine cabinet unless you tell me that there's toilet paper in the medicine cabinet if you need it. Otherwise, I'm not going into your fucking shit. That's not something I am not a nosy person. I don't go through nobody's cell phone. I don't go through nobody's dresser drawers. I don't check the refrigerator often. I do check the refrigerator. I don't know why. It's like after I get to know them first before I go into the refrigerator. I have to get to know them first, and then the first thing I do when I come to their house is go to the refrigerator. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to get something to drink. But after I get to know you, I go straight for the refrigerator. I'm sorry. It's a true confession there. So I'm still thinking when the sheriff and I finally get to talking, and we get cleared through all the bullshit, and I was like, all right, so what I need to go to jail? She's like, I'm not taking you to jail. It's like, but you have a warrant for my arrest. I said, yeah, I have a warrant for your arrest, but it's really to let you know that you have a court date in May. It's like, well, you want to tell me what it did? It's like, yeah, apparently you called somebody and they gave me her name, which I'm not going to reveal. They gave me her name, and I was, I guess, put under harassment and disturbing the peace and annoyance of ringing the phone. So I'm like, when did this happen? And she's like, well, apparently this happened back in February. I said, well, it's April. You're just getting to me now? It's like, yeah, well, manpower was a little short. I was like, yeah, well, had y'all just came and got me back in April, this would have been a whole lot easier for all of us. And she says, yeah, I'm sorry about that, but I don't tell you when we're coming. We just show up. It's like, all right, well, that makes sense. He's like, that way in case somebody tries to run. I said, oh, well, you ain't got to worry about me. I'm not running from the law. I don't generally break the law outside of a speeding ticket. I said, yeah, I ran your records. I know you have a few speeding tickets that you've been known for a few years. I was like, I paid my speeding tickets. She said, yeah, I know. So we go through that song and dance. And then she tells me a court date, and it's like early in the morning. So flash forwarding to May, I go to court, and the judge says, James Williams Jr., and I was like, here. And he says, could you come up to the front? It's time for your case. I was like, okay. So he's got my case papers in front of him, the same case papers that I went and got today. And he's calling her name out. He's shouting for her, and he's looking. And all these other white girls are standing up, and they're looking. And he's like, is she one of them? And I was like, no, she's not white. He said, is she black? I said, no, she's not black. He said, is she Native American? I said, no, she is of Asian descent. She's Korean. He's like, well, ain't no Korean people in here, and the only Asian-looking person in here is actually you. I was like, well, then she's not here. He said, all right, well, here's how this is going to work. So him and I started having a talk, which he also had he had to break the case that he was on to take care of my case. And the case he was on was a very serious case, which I'm not going to reveal. Something about somebody punching somebody, and it wasn't a sexual assault, but it was a physical assault, and somebody literally beat the living holy shit out of somebody. And that's pretty much the case that was ahead of mine. So he put that case on hold and let them take recess while he talked to me. So we're talking, and I'm on this side of the case bench, wherever the fuck the judge sits, I'm on the opposite side. And so we're talking, and he's looking at it. You shake his hand and said, dude, I ought to know what she looks like. She's not out there. He said, all right, son. So he gives me the song and dance. I'm placing you under a no contact order. And I'm like, all right, you need to be super specific on that. He said, oh, don't worry. I'm going to be super specific on this. 1, stay the fuck away from her family. Stay the fuck away from her friends. Even if they're your friends, do not call them, do not mail them, do not reach out to them, do not write them any letters, and above all else, Mr. Williams, do not text message anyone. And it goes triple for her. Anywhere that you have ever taken her, don't go there. Any place that you would have taken her while y'all were together, don't go there. Any place that you intend on going that you know that you've already taken her there, don't fucking go there. So basically, from 2013 until my dad died, I didn't give a fuck. Yeah, I did what I was told. Once my dad died, I was like, all right, well, fuck it. Because my dad is really the only person on earth who's ever actually gave a shit about me outside of my beautiful friends before Instagram and all that. But all of my good friends, C. Monroe, my cousin Russ, my boy Adrian, my boy BJ, and other friends, some who are here right now. Only the people who really gave a shit about me are the people who I went to go see, who sadly also saw her in places that I used to go, because they would point things out. A-Dog would tell me, yo, you can't go to the Monticello Trail anymore because your ex-girlfriend's always there damn near every day, because his wife was always on the trail, and she'd always tell him, he would always call me, you get the gist. My brother-in-law, you can't ride through the university because your ex-girlfriend, 1, her father works there, and 2, she's always working out at the gym that he goes to. So, can't go traipsing through the university, so I can't go deal with my partners that collaborate with my films and stuff. So, that was out. So, basically, I was a prisoner in my own home. And then, what the judge had told me before I even left the courtroom, he's like, if you love her, you're going to have to love her ass from afar, because if I see you back in here, I'm sending you to jail. But then, a hit of niceness, he said, to be honest with you, I can't press charges on you because I read your text messages. I couldn't hear your horrible ass singing. I don't know if you're a good singer. You should probably try out for the America's Got Talent or The Voice or whatever the hell was on at the time. He said, you should probably try out from some of those things to put some of that love energy into that shit. But you didn't threaten her. You know, you wrote very compassionate texts, which he also showed me the text. Yeah, it's like, you wrote very compassionate text, and I can see that you truly love this girl more than life itself. But son, you gotta love her from afar, because if you try to contact her, I'm locking your ass up. So of all the things to get in trouble for, 2 love songs, 2 text messages. And the worst part of that is I actually had wrote her like 60 fucking love songs. So yeah, she'll never get them. I'm way past that. I'm way past over it. And the only reason why I came on Instagram earlier today with that was to show everybody that I had these papers to cover my ass so that if anything else happens to happen because she made contact with me last Monday, that my ass is safe. And I know that I hadn't made contact with her in damn near 8 to 10 years. Because like I said, we broke up in 2010. I went to the Army. I tried to make contact in 2013, wound up going to court, and I was done. It's 2020. I made no contact. I didn't go to Scottsville because her peeps live in Scottsville. So if I had to go see my uncle in Buckingham, I had to go to Nelson County Way and go to Howardsville Way to come all the way across that Howardsville Bridge where they supposedly saw Sasquatch under it and come to Buckingham that way. And when I left his house, I had to go the same way. So unless I had to give him a ride to Scottsville, my ass was not going to Scottsville. If I had to go to my mom's job at Scottsville, I would go to Scottsville that way to go, because if I take the right, I would be going to her house. If I take the left, I was going to the job. So that would be the only other time. Other than that, my ass stayed with Scottsville until my dad died. After my dad died, I just said, fuck it. It's like no chance in hell I'm ever going to see her again. So that's cool. And so after my dad died, my mom somehow suckered me into going to Scottsville at this motherfucking flea market where my mom, Miss Premium Blend, who looks just like a white person, would get lost in a crowd of white people, and I couldn't find her for like 10 minutes. Other than that, that was pretty much it. So I have never really been in any trouble with the law. So I'm coming here on Instagram and YouTube to make sure that everything is cleared up. I've never had a criminal record. I do not have a criminal record. So I misspoke when I said that earlier, and this is me covering my ass. I had talked to the sheriff the Wednesday of last week that she had called me. So yeah, the day before Thanksgiving, I decided to call the sheriff to make sure that I could get copies of this. Now, he emailed me a screenshot, which is at my job. I got some guy from work to print out the other part, the file that didn't show up in the paper today, but the whole complaint I have today. So just to cover my ass, I came back on here just now to make sure that everything is cleared up before somebody says, oh, James, you have a criminal record. No, I don't have a criminal record. The charges were never processed. And I was like, oh, well, that's great. But the damn judge scared me so bad that I just never left my house. If I wasn't going to work, school, I wasn't leaving my house. So also, I would like to thank that judge right now. So Judge, whatever your name is, thank you very, very much for giving it to me straight, you know, and waking me up. And also, to everyone else, you know, hey, relationships go bad, alright? How you choose to deal with it can really make the difference in your life. Don't get so wrapped up that it destroys you, because that's exactly what happened to me. I got so wrapped up that it destroyed me because I kept questioning why. Now let me explain that before I get off. Alright, so as I said at the beginning, every girlfriend I've ever had has cheated on me. Every girlfriend from the first to the last. Can't really say the last because there was no real reason to legitimately break up with me. I never mistreated her. I never cussed at her. I never called out of her name. I pretend like she was the greatest gift that God ever gave me. I worshiped the motherfucking ground she walked on. Almost drowned at her parents' place down in the lake area somewhere. And you know, I really wanted to marry the girl. Yeah, honestly, truly to God, I really wanted to marry her. You know, shit didn't work out. However, I wasn't about to end the fight until the fight wasn't over until the courts got in it. Once the courts got in it, I was like, alright, fuck it. I'm done. And I was done. Now, when we broke up, the only thing she ever said was, relationships are overrated and you can't come see me anymore. Now, mind you, never cheated on her, never cussed her out, never raised a hand to her, never raised my fucking voice to her. So there was really no legitimate reason for the breakup, which is something else that I explained to the judge. And he's like, well, why'd y'all break up? I said, dude, if I was to know that, I would have never made the phone calls. I would have never made the text messages. I would have never did the singing over the phone thing. Because knowledge is power. You know, when you break up, there's generally a reason. You don't just break up for no fucking reason. You know? And another thing, if you're gonna get into a relationship, and this is the only advice I'm giving everybody because I take this to myself and I've always been an honest person. If you don't know what you want, do not get in any relationships. If you want a friends with benefit relationship, say that. You want a situationship? Say that. You want a hookup relationship where I call you when I need you or you call me when you need me and we got to do some sexual service? Say that shit. But don't let someone, for the love of God, fall in love with you, follow you around like a dog in heat. Yes, I'm confessing on myself. And go buy some rings to give you, only to find out that you can't come see me no more. Relationships are overrated. Also, the thing that really threw the relationship over the hump, I would say, which I will blame until the end of time, was one of them damn Twilight films. That's right, Twilight. I blame you for that shit. Because the night before we broke up, we went to go see Twilight. And the next day I went to work, I got a phone call, I walked back up there, and my heart was destroyed. So, there. Then after my dad died, I got catfished by some chick from the Philippines, lost a lot of money, and here we are today. Now, if I'm blessed, I'll be able to get my crush without any excess baggage. I don't have children, so I have plenty of time. Thanks for watching, guys. This is Comfort Advocate number 2, and Instagram, be seeing you. We'll just call this one True Confessions.